Hello, pocket knife community, knife lovers, knife enthusiasts, interested viewers. Folder here. I want to do an overview on the SOG Seal XR. Boy, do we have a tank of a knife here. This thing is some serious business. I don't know what SOG was thinking, but yeah, this is a big one. This is a big boy. So okay, let's start off with some maintenance. It's 8.1 ounces, so it's over an 8-ounce knife. 9 1/8 total length. Eek. See how long it is? It's hitting my stand. 9 1/8 total length. Blade is 3.8. Cutting surface is 3.6. Blade is 0.185 inches thick. So it's thick. It is very thick. And I got the serrated edge. Partial serrations. Yeah, this is like one of those, doomsday knives. Like end of the world type of knife you want to carry. Right? It's got S35 VN steel. It's got a polymer frame. It looks like everything else on here is steel though. Yeah, so a couple of comparisons, just so you get an idea how big this knife is. Next to a PM2, this knife is absolutely insanely big. Okay, I mean, listen, the blade is 3.8 inches total with a 3.6 cutting surface, so it's not over a 4-inch knife. It's still in the threes, right? It's not, gargantuan, but for a pocket knife, yeah, it's big and it's actually thick. I don't know if on camera kind of gives you a perspective of how thick this knife is. But that's next to a PM2. This is next to a Demco AD 20.5. Yeah. Matter of fact, I'm just going to bring out my biggest knives to compare against it because, this thing is crazy. So the Cold Steel SR Survival Rescue 1, humongous knife also, but weight wise, I'm sure, I got my scale over here, I'm not going to bring it on screen, you guys just have to trust me of what it weighs. Weighing the Cold Steel is 6.6 ounces. This is 8.1. So that, yeah. All right, how about the AD10? It's another big knife. How does it look next to an AD10? AD10 stands up a little bit better. And it's very thick also, so it does a little bit more. And we can put the AD10 on the scale. And the AD10... Okay. Right, the AD10 is 6.6 ounces. 6.5? No, 6.6 ounces. Yeah, so these are both 6.5 ounce knives compared to this 8.1. So I have to dig deep. I gotta dig deep in my collection to find something as big and heavy as this. Let's go with the big boys. I bring out the full-size Demcos. First inexorable, which is a Demco AD20 with full titanium shark's tooth scales, completely no weight saving, completely unskeletonized, with a full titanium backspacer. Let's see let's see how we look in here. Okay, and this is I must be missing something here. Okay. This knife is... Oh my goodness. Really? Okay, this knife is 8.1 ounces also. And it's over, I knew it was over 8 ounces because of the backspacer. These normally come with the barrel standoffs, which is weight saving, but when I ordered this, I wanted it maximum size, maximum weight. So, but this is a safe queen. So it's not, it's not really something I'm carrying every day. So it ties it. Do I have anything that can beat it? Yeah, I do. My other Demco, my Expanse Fresh Demco. This also does not have skeletonized liners in any way. Full liners, full weight, and I'm sure this is 8.2. So 8.2 ounces. So it got it by a little bit. I guess the fresh pattern has a little bit more weight than the shark's tooth. Uh, yeah, but these are enormous knives. They're not small at all. And this thing is, I mean, my paws on this thing. I got plenty of real estate holding this knife. Like I said, I'm 6'4", 260 pounds, and and this knife is tremendous. So yeah, it's a big knife. It's something that you would, I won't carry this thing. This is not an EDC knife. This is something that you would take if you work in the military or the security field or even law enforcement, or you're going to take this hunting with you or camping or for something hard use, a special, some type of special detail. This is not something that you're going to put in your pocket every day. It's just not. It's not practical for that. Let's get down to it. So it's got a really nice clip point blade. Matter of fact, it's very similar to my enhanced blade on my Demco. Very similar type of grind. It's got a enhanced. Let's see, it's a flat grind. Oh, saber grind. And it's a dual grind, right? I picked the one with the serrated edges because serrated edges never go. You can never not cut with a serrated edge. It could be the end of the world and you could be walking around here and this whole thing went dull, but you'll still be able to cut something with that. It's got extremely aggressive jimping on the spine of the knife. So aggressive that even pushing in both directions, your finger goes nowhere. And it's coated. When I first got this thing, I couldn't even break the detent. It was so tight. And even now, I can't even reverse flick this thing. Cannot even reverse flick it. So the detent was sticking really bad. It's coming a little bit loose now. I can pinch this thing out and then do a slow roll. But unless you use the XR lock, I mean, don't get me wrong, the thing is very, very fidgety, but the deployment hole is too close to the pivot to really reverse grip it, and then it makes the detent just extremely robust, like ridiculous. So you can kind of ridiculous pinch out that, break that detent, and then do a slow roll if you want. Of course, the tab, flipper tab there works, and if you want to just use the XR lock, which is basically the once proprietary locking mechanism used by Benchmade and their Omega springs. Now that the patent's over, everyone can use their own, and this is SOG's version of it. And yeah, it's nice. It's nice. It actually, I don't know how the detent works in this knife. I'm not even remotely interested in taking this knife apart. I will probably never take this knife apart, more likely than not. And but the springs work. The detent, it breaks the detent, so that's nice. Let's get down to the frame. So it's a flipper tab. We get down to the frame. It has some sort of a polymer type frame. It has metal liners, and they are skeletonized. I remember seeing them before. I just want to check again. And they are heavily skeletonized. So there's a huge section in the middle out, another section right here that's gone, and another section here. And the same on the other side. One really big section here that's missing, and here, and then in the back. So they tried to save some weight, and they still came out to over 8 ounces. The hardware used on this, and I can't. If there are any manufacturers that watch these videos, and I know I'm not the only person that does overviews and or reviews on knives and complains about T6s. This complaint isn't something that we just like to do because everyone likes following what the next person did. It's a real thing. The T6s. Why are you using T6s on a huge knife like this? Like, why? Matter of fact, I broke one of my T6s. Okay, so off camera before this, let me just tell you what happened. This screw here in the back, if you notice, that holds the clip, it's a little bit in now, but it was sticking up really high. So I'm imagining what happened was when they were putting this thing together, the fit and finish, the quality control people tried to tighten that thing and it wouldn't go down. They probably didn't pre-drill a hole or something. So they couldn't get it to go down, and they probably stripped a couple of T6s trying to get it down. So I tried to tighten it down, and it stripped my T6. It just stripped the entire tool. So I just threw that one in the garbage, and you know, and moved on. And it just reinforces exactly what I'm talking about. You have a knife this big. You could use T12s all the way through this thing, and it wouldn't make a bit of difference. I mean, it would make a difference as far as how it looks, but it would make a bigger difference on how you're able to, you know, deal with the knife. If you need to take something off or fix something, you need to do something, you're not going to be either stripping the screws or stripping your tools. I just don't get it. At one time, T6s were the standard size to use on folding knives. And then now, every manufacturer's just stuck in it. And either you're not watching our reviews, or you're watching them and you're just ignoring them, but you keep coming out with knives and using T6s. It is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. At least the Demco doesn't. The Demco, these are T8s in the Demco, right? I think these are 8s. Yeah. Yeah, at least they use 8 and then a 10 on the pivot. Yeah, it's amazing, you know. You can use T10s on this whole thing. You know, I have a knife. Let me go find that knife. Hold on. Let me pause this for a second. Okay, so I'm back. So I don't know if Hogue either, I don't know what it is. Either they're listening to people or they recognize it or whatever it is. But Hogue, okay, the relatively new, the redone 6-hour K320. Okay, here we go. Much smaller knife than this. Much smaller knife than the Demcos, right? This is actually an 8-inch knife. So this is like one of those beautiful size knives that are very popular with the knife community. Perfect size 8-inch knife, right? Guess what? No. What size is this here? Is this an 8 or a 7? No, it's a 7. Look at this, right? Body screws. Oh, I thought these were T8s. Really? They're not. Okay, I was about to. Okay, I thought. You know what? Maybe they're T7s, because I know they're bigger than T6s. Yeah, they are. They're T7s. Right, because the T6s, they're yeah. So, okay. So what they did was they used this. Oh, this is a 10. I'm sorry. See, I can't see. That's part of the problem. Okay, so this is a T8. Ah, got it. Sorry, guys. Okay, I knew it. All right. T8s. T8, and the pivot is a T10. So that's a T8. This is a T10. Yeah, there you go. So the Hogue 6-hour K320 uses T8s and T10s. They didn't use any T6s. I'm not even sure. Did they use T6s on the... Okay, so they used them on the clip. Hey, listen. I applaud them 100%. Because that matters. That matters. Why are you using T6s on this big knife? Yeah, man, these are the only guys, they're doing it. I mean, that's not the only ones, but I'm just saying, it's not a huge knife. Well, it's on the big side because it's at 8 inches total length. But it's not, this is enormous. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, at any rate, okay, so let's move on. And the polymer frame and those T6s, and we're coming back to, okay, so on this side, you have this SOG clip, which fits the knife perfectly, okay, because the knife is ridiculous, so of course the clip is going to be ridiculous, and that's fine. I think this clip works great on this knife. Like, what other clip are you going to put on this? What, you're not going to put, you're not going to put a clip like this on there. Yeah, look at the size of this thing. Yeah, you're going to put a humongous, ridiculous clip on it. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, the whole knife is ridiculous, so we can't complain about the clip now. This is an Allen key. 3/16. 3/16 here. If you want to try to remove that. And it has a back spacer here. And it has some type of blunt force trauma section to the knife, where I guess you could use it as a glass breaker or a blunt instrument of some kind, and it is part of the backspacer, and it is not attached. It looks like it's all one solid piece. Where's my magnet? I don't know where it is now. Where did it go? Oh, it's over here. Right, so yeah, we know that it is not titanium. Yeah, these are just metal. This is just metal. The liners are metal. Yeah, it's not yeah, so yeah. Anyway, this thing is pretty jimped up, right? Ridiculous amount of jimping, unbelievable. As a matter of fact, the entire knife is jimped, right? From the blade all the way around, continuous jimping. So this is a knife that if you're going to use for any period of time, you need to use gloves. It's a glove knife. And if you're using this, I guess in a tactical aspect, I don't know if the U.S. Navy SEALs or any other elite law enforcement agency would actually use this knife. I don't know what knives they actually use. This seems like it's a little heavy with gear. So, but I do know that they wear gloves. So, I guess if you're wearing gloves and you're tactical, then this is fine. Or if you're just using this in a camping setting, you could baton with this. Definitely do some wood carving with it. It's got a flat top here, good enough for batoning. You wouldn't be destroying batons too bad. Yeah. So, listen, we're knife enthusiasts, right? We love knives. We love all types of stuff here. This is a quality knife. It feels extremely robust. It feels extremely solid. There is absolutely zero. Feels like a fixed blade, bank vault lockup. The action is incredible for a knife this big and heavy. With the XR lock, allows for incredible fidgetability. I mean, so what's the complaint, right? You get what you if you asked for it with this knife, you got it, right? You asked for something big, beefy, because that's what you're going to work with. I will tell you this before I go. Any task that you can only do with a big knife, or that is for a big knife, you cannot use a small knife for. But tasks that you routinely would use a small knife for, you probably could use a big knife for it. So if you have it, in other words, if you have a bigger knife there are things that you can do that fall, in line with a small knife and or a big knife. But to ask a very small knife to do a task that you need a big knife for, it's not going to work. So routinely, when people are in the field or out in the wilderness, or they're away from civilization, or they're doing something that just requires, that routinely they're going to go with something that is bigger, because you can always go down. You can always go in the other direction, more likely than not. All right? So that's it. That is the SOG Seal XR. That's all I got.